Imagine starting every day with clarity, focus, and a quiet strength that others notice but can't touch. That's not luck. That's not chance. That's a practice, a way of living inspired by the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Today we'll explore the habits and mindset shifts that turn that truth into reality. By the end of this video, you'll know how to transform mornings from a groggy scramble into a launch pad for purpose, resilience, and calm confidence. If you're ready to take control of your mind and your life, stay with me. Every great day starts with direction. The Stoics didn't just endure life, they oriented themselves toward meaning. Think of it like a compass pointing north, your daily North Star. Ask yourself, what drives me? What contribution can I make today that aligns with who I truly am? This isn't a vague platitude. It's the mental equivalent of putting your shoes by the door before a run. Consider Epictetus's advice. Focus on what you can control and let the rest flow. Your North Star doesn't change with the weather, the news cycle, or someone else's drama. Start small. Each morning, write down one intention that connects to your bigger purpose. Over time, these small acts of clarity compound into a life with momentum and direction. When you align daily action with inner purpose, even ordinary tasks gain weight. Loading the dishwasher, answering emails, or taking a walk becomes part of a larger story. Your story. The seeds of a powerful morning are planted the night before. How you end today determines how you begin tomorrow. Instead of mindlessly scrolling, treat your evening like a gentle retreat. Dim the lights, put your phone down, and reflect on the day's victories, however small. A simple exercise. List 3 things that went well, 3 things you learned, and 1 thing you can improve tomorrow. This primes your brain to wake up with clarity and purpose. Seneca reminded us that the mind needs space to reset. When you give it rest and reflection, your mornings become a field ready for planting seeds of intention. Pair this with light preparation. Lay out your clothes, decide your top 3 priorities, or do a brief stretching routine. Small steps, big returns. Picture this. Sunrise, quiet, no phone notifications, no emails demanding attention. Just you, a breath, and a moment of stillness. The Stoics believed that the quality of your attention determines the quality of your life. Start your day distracted, and you live distracted. Start focused, and you control the day instead of reacting to it. Use the first hour intentionally. Read a few pages of a meaningful book, journal your thoughts, meditate, or simply observe the world awakening. These are small anchors that cultivate calm, focus, and confidence. By avoiding immediate immersion in the chaos of the world, you strengthen your mind's ability to respond instead of react. You're no longer at the mercy of every ping, buzz, or news alert. Waking up at the same hour every day may seem minor, but it's a declaration of self-respect. Your morning routine is the first choice you make for yourself each day. Think of it like tending a bonsai tree. Daily attention, patience, and care shape something small into something remarkable. Yes, the first few days are hard. The bed is warm and temptation whispers to hit snooze. But your discipline here compounds. Every early rise strengthens your mental fortitude. Make it easier. Adjust sleep times, expose yourself to morning light, and pair the habit with a rewarding ritual. A cup of coffee, stretching, or reading. Stoicism teaches that our will is the only thing truly within our control. Use it. Each morning you wake intentionally, you affirm mastery over your own life. Life isn't about comfort, it's about resilience. Every time you resist the snooze button, face a hard conversation, or tackle a task you'd rather avoid, you're training your mind and character. Imagine your mind as a muscle. Avoiding discomfort leaves it weak. Facing it consistently makes it strong, calm, and steady. Epictetus wrote, "Difficulties show men what they are." The morning, with its quiet struggle against inertia, is your daily proving ground. Start small. Cold showers, a brisk walk, or journaling about challenges can all build this resilience. Every minor discomfort faced is a step toward mastery of yourself. The Stoics often reflected on mortality. Not to fear death, but to appreciate life fully. Morning reflection on what could go wrong isn't pessimism, it's preparation. Imagine a day where everything goes wrong. Missed deadlines, arguments, delays. How would you respond? Visualize your calm, measured reaction. This mental rehearsal makes you resilient. Challenges become manageable because you've already practiced them internally. Pair this with gratitude. List 3 things in your life that are steady, supportive, or beautiful. Gratitude isn't sentimental, it's armor. It sharpens your focus on what matters. Each morning is a microcosm of life. How you rise, focus, face discomfort, and reflect shapes not just your day, but the trajectory of your life. Now let's deepen this practice. Consider incorporating a morning reflection walk. Step outside, feel the air, notice the world waking up. While walking, mentally rehearse your day. The tasks, the conversations, the challenges. Mentally picture yourself navigating them with composure and integrity. This isn't daydreaming, it's Stoic preparation, training your mind to act rather than react. Journaling is another tool. Write down your fears, worries, or small frustrations before the day begins. Then write one action you can take to address each, or a mindset shift to handle them gracefully. The act of transferring thoughts from mind to paper clears mental space and builds clarity. Over time, you'll notice recurring patterns. You'll identify what truly matters versus what is just noise. Accountability can amplify these habits. Share your goals with a friend, family member, or mentor. Check in regularly, not for punishment, but for encouragement and reflection. The Stoics believed wisdom shared is wisdom multiplied. When someone else sees your effort, you gain perspective and support. You're no longer alone in your struggle to rise with purpose. Let's talk about simplicity. The Stoics embraced minimalism because excess clutters the mind. In the morning, start with simplicity. No endless scrolling, no multitasking. Focus on one meaningful activity at a time. Brew your coffee slowly. Read one passage deeply. Breathe fully. This cultivates a calm, deliberate rhythm that flows into the rest of the day. And here's a powerful concept often overlooked: micro-victories. Every small intentional action in the morning, making your bed, journaling a thought, completing a stretch, is a win. These small victories set a tone. Your mind recognizes, I have control, I can act intentionally. Over weeks, these micro-victories compound into monumental growth. Even when chaos arrives, these habits act like a shield. You may face difficult colleagues, unexpected challenges, or personal setbacks. But because you've anchored your mind with reflection, gratitude, and intention, you respond with resilience. You navigate the world without losing your center. Finally, remind yourself daily, life is fleeting, unpredictable, and precious. Each morning is a chance to embody virtue, pursue growth, and engage fully with the world. The small intentional habits we've discussed, clarity, preparation, gratitude, reflection, discipline, and resilience, are the tools. The morning is your proving ground, your training arena, your opportunity to practice mastery over yourself before life demands it elsewhere. By integrating these practices consistently, your mornings become a launch pad. Your mindset becomes calmer, sharper, and more resilient. Your life begins to reflect the Stoic ideals of purpose, virtue, and inner freedom. Every morning is a fresh canvas, a blank slate waiting for your intention to shape it. But too often, we stumble through the first hours on autopilot, pulled in countless directions by notifications, news, and other people's demands. The Stoics would remind us that this is a choice. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your mind is your domain. How you start the day sets the tone for everything that follows." Imagine your mind as a compass. Each morning you have the opportunity to align it with your true north, your purpose, your values, your reason for being. This isn't abstract philosophy. It's a practical tool. Ask yourself, what matters today? What contribution can I make? What action, no matter how small, will leave me feeling I've lived intentionally? Think of it as setting your GPS before a journey. You wouldn't start a cross-country drive without a map. Why navigate your day without a clear direction? Epictetus who spent his life in a small rented room facing hardships that most of us can barely imagine, emphasized the importance of focusing on what we can control. Your morning routine is exactly that, something within your power. You can't control the weather, traffic, or whether a colleague behaves poorly, but you can control your focus, your breath, and the actions you take to meet the day with clarity. This simple mindset, starting with what you can control, is a revolutionary act in a world addicted to reacting. Begin with one anchor, your intention. Write it down, speak it aloud, or meditate on it for 5 minutes. It can be as simple as, "Today I will approach my tasks with calm and purpose," or "Today I will focus on what I can contribute, not what frustrates me." Over time, these small declarations compound. Each intentional morning is like laying a brick in the foundation of a life built on clarity and inner strength. Now consider the metaphor of the garden. If you plant seeds haphazardly, expecting a lush harvest, you'll likely be disappointed. But if you prepare the soil, remove weeds, water consistently, and tend to each plant with care, growth becomes inevitable. Your mind is the soil. Each morning, by setting clear intentions, you remove mental clutter, water your focus with deliberate thought, and tend to your mental garden with care. The result is not just a productive day, but a resilient, calm, and prepared mind. This concept extends beyond personal productivity. It impacts relationships, creativity, and emotional stability. When you start the day grounded, you're less reactive. You're more present. When a colleague snaps or life throws an unexpected challenge, you don't lose your center. Your mental compass keeps pointing north. This is the essence of Stoic resilience. The ability to navigate chaos without being pulled off course. The key is consistency. A single intentional morning may feel like a small act, but repeated day after day, it transforms your life. Consider it a form of mental training. Olympic athletes don't rely on talent alone. They repeat movements, drills, and exercises thousands of times to build muscle memory. The mind works similarly. Each intentional act, waking early, meditating, journaling, moving the body, focusing on priorities, strengthens the mental pathways that lead to clarity, discipline, and calm resilience. Practical steps. First, identify your anchor for the day. Next, dedicate at least 15 to 20 minutes to a quiet, focused practice. Reading a meaningful passage, journaling your intentions, or meditating. Avoid screens during this time, then tie your intention to a simple action. Make your bed, brew your coffee mindfully, or go for a short walk, visualizing how you'll meet the day with composure. These small rituals, repeated daily, act like the weights in a mental gym, building strength, focus, and a sense of ownership over your life. Finally, reflect on this. Most people drift through life reacting to whatever comes their way. The Stoics chose a different path. They cultivated mastery over their minds, and that mastery became freedom. Your morning is your first opportunity to practice this mastery. By starting with purpose, reflection, and intentional action, you're not just creating a better morning, you're shaping a stronger, calmer, and more resilient life. Section 2. Evening Architecture, Building the Dawn Before It Arrives. Most people think mornings start when the alarm rings. The Stoics would argue something different. Your morning begins the night before. How you prepare your evening is the scaffolding for your dawn. If you allow the final hours of the day to drift into chaos, mindlessly scrolling, binge-watching, or ruminating on problems, you set up tomorrow to start in distraction, fatigue, and mental clutter. Marcus Aurelius, though an emperor burdened with empire-level responsibilities, consistently emphasized the quiet reflection and discipline that preceded action. Even a ruler needed a calm mind before tackling the chaos of the day. Think of your evening as the foundation for a bridge. If the foundation is weak or uneven, the bridge shakes under pressure. But if it's stable, precise, and well laid, it carries you safely over turbulent waters. Your mind operates the same way. When you end the day intentionally, you wake up ready, aligned, and resilient. The first step is to reclaim your night from the screens and notifications that demand attention. Limit exposure to artificial light at least an hour before sleep. Allow your body to register a natural transition from activity to rest. This is not deprivation, it's empowerment. You are choosing serenity over chaos, clarity over mental noise. Next, design your environment with purpose. The Stoics were masters of order, not just in thought, but in their surroundings. Even in modest accommodations, they cultivated spaces that supported reflection, learning, and calm. In modern terms, this might mean placing your phone out of reach, setting out clothes for the morning, or preparing a simple breakfast. These small acts reduce friction in your decision-making, conserving mental energy for choices that truly matter. Each intentional action signals to your subconscious that the day ahead is important, valued, and worthy of attention. Another overlooked aspect is the ritual of closure. Before bed, take 10 to 15 minutes to reflect on the day. Ask yourself, what went well? What could I improve? What did I learn? These questions, repeated consistently, train your mind to notice growth and patterns, reinforcing the Stoic principle that life is an ongoing practice, not a series of random events. Journaling doesn't just capture thoughts, it organizes them, leaving your mind lighter and more prepared for the mental clarity that morning requires. Then there's the power of micro-planning. Jot down 3 priorities for tomorrow, the absolute essentials that will guide your actions. This is not a to-do list to overwhelm, but a directional compass, a declaration of intention. Epictetus would remind us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. By preparing the night before, you're taking this advice literally. You define your purpose in advance, then act in alignment with it, reducing reactive stress in the early hours. Consider the metaphor of the candle. The brighter it is before you start your day, the more light it casts over everything you do. Your evening routine fuels that light. Adequate sleep, reflection, and preparation are the oil that keeps the flame burning steady and strong. Neglect these elements and the light flickers under the wind of distractions, fatigue, and anxiety. Nourish them and you rise with momentum, focus, and clarity. Finally, incorporate a small act of gratitude or mindfulness. Before sleep, consciously acknowledge something meaningful, a moment of progress, an interaction, or simply the fact that you're alive to meet another day. This is a practice the Stoics often recommended. A pause to recognize what is good, to separate what is in our control from what is not. Going to bed with this awareness reduces the mental chatter that so often disrupts sleep. And it sets the stage for a morning that starts not with tension, but with intentionality. In essence, your evening is not an afterthought, it's a preparatory workshop. The habits you cultivate now ripple into the morning. Thoughtful closure, intentional environment, and deliberate planning become the invisible scaffolding for a life of focus, discipline, and inner calm. The bridge between today and tomorrow is built tonight. Will yours be strong, or will it tremble under pressure? By designing your evenings, you reclaim your mornings and take the first step toward mastery over your mind and life. Section 3. Morning Sanctuaries, Guarding Your First Hour. The first hour of your day is sacred. Yet most people surrender it immediately to external demands, notifications, emails, news alerts, and the endless scroll of social media. The Stoics understood that where attention goes, energy flows. Seneca wrote about guarding your time as if it were the most precious currency you possess, because it is. A distracted morning sets the tone for a distracted day. A focused morning primes your mind for intentional action. Imagine your morning as a garden. Each thought, action, or habit you allow into this space is a seed. Neglect this garden, and weeds of distraction grow unchecked, choking the clarity and purpose you need to thrive. Tend to it with care, and it flourishes, producing calm, creativity, and productivity. Begin by designing a physical and mental environment that supports serenity. This doesn't require perfection. Even small changes yield big results. Close your bedroom door if possible, clear clutter from surfaces, and create a space that signals this is where your mind is nourished, not drained. Now consider your relationship with technology. The phone is the ultimate test of self-control. The minute you reach for it, you're handed the agenda of the world and the world's priorities, anxieties, and urgencies, before you even have a chance to think for yourself. Instead, leave devices aside for the first hour. Use this time to engage in activities that energize and ground you. Meditation, journaling, light movement, or simply a quiet cup of tea or coffee by the window. These acts might feel small, even trivial, but they are the anchors of a centered life. Each intentional choice strengthens your ability to act rather than react. Let's introduce the metaphor of the shield. Imagine stepping into the morning with an invisible barrier, keeping chaos and distraction at bay. Every mindful action you take, no scrolling, no hasty emails, no reactive engagement, reinforces this shield. It protects your focus, reserves your energy, and gives you the psychological space to decide what truly matters. You are the architect of your morning, and the first hour is your blueprint. Stoicism teaches that happiness and resilience are cultivated, not discovered. By starting the day grounded and attentive, you train your mind to remain steady in the face of interruptions. This is why a sanctuary matters. It's not physical luxury, but a mental framework. Perhaps it's a corner of your room with a journal and a candle, a quiet spot on the balcony, or simply the act of sitting on your bed and breathing deeply for 5 minutes. What matters is that you claim this time as yours. Another important layer is movement and embodiment. The Stoics recognize that mind and body are inseparable. Epictetus reminded us that the body's state influences the mind's clarity. Light stretching, a short walk, or a few push-ups can signal to your nervous system that the day has begun intentionally, not reactively. Movement also releases tension, sharpens focus, and invigorates the senses, preparing you for challenges rather than letting them arrive unarmed. Finally, consider incorporating a brief mental rehearsal. Visualize your day, the obstacles you might encounter, and how you wish to respond. This is not planning for perfection, but training your mind for composure and adaptability. When you step into your day aware, deliberate, and grounded, you act with choice, not habit. The Stoics called this proheresis, the power of will to direct oneself toward virtue and away from distraction. Every morning spent in a sanctuary of focus strengthens this muscle, making intentional living the default, not the exception. In short, your first hour is the launch pad of your day. Protect it, craft it, and infuse it with purpose. The distractions of the world will wait, but the clarity you cultivate in these moments will ripple through every decision, interaction, and task you face. By treating mornings as a sanctuary, you step into life as a creator, not a passenger. Your garden thrives, your shield holds. Your day begins not with chaos, but with choice. Section 4. Rising with Intention, the Power of Consistency. Consistency is the backbone of mastery. The Stoics didn't preach sporadic bursts of effort, but the steady, deliberate march of daily practice. Marcus Aurelius rose each day aware of his purpose and the fleeting nature of time. He understood that small, consistent actions compound into strength, resilience, and wisdom. Your wake-up time, seemingly mundane, is one of the simplest yet most profound tools for shaping your life. Imagine each morning as a stone placed in a foundation. Alone, it seems small, but layer upon layer, stone upon stone, the foundation grows into a structure capable of supporting enormous weight, a life of discipline, focus, and serenity. When you commit to waking at the same hour daily, you are laying stones in this foundation. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. The bed is warm, the snooze button is seductive, but the discomfort is temporary. The benefits are long-lasting. Each day you rise on time, you reinforce the habit, train your willpower, and tell yourself, I am in control of my life. There's a practical side too. When your body adapts to a consistent schedule, you stabilize your circadian rhythm, sleep becomes deeper, mornings feel more natural, and mental clarity arrives without struggle. But beyond biology, consistency builds character. Each small act of discipline strengthens your internal sense of reliability. You become someone who keeps promises, first to yourself, then to others, and the Stoics valued reliability as a cornerstone of virtue. Let's consider the metaphor of the river. Water flowing steadily over rocks carves canyons over time. It doesn't need to rush, it doesn't need to be dramatic, it simply persists. Your consistent morning routine works the same way. Daily repetition, even of minor acts, rising at the same hour, making your bed, journaling for 10 minutes, carves clarity, resilience, and intentionality into your character. The results are not immediate, but over weeks and months, the cumulative impact is undeniable. How do you maintain consistency when motivation dips? Here, Stoic thinking is crucial, motivation is unreliable, discipline is not. Don't rely on feeling inspired to rise early. Instead, anchor yourself in principles and purpose. Ask, what kind of person do I want to be? Then act in alignment with that identity. This reframes the act of waking up as a statement of who you are, not a negotiation with fleeting desire. The snooze button becomes a test of character, and each choice you make fortifies your commitment to yourself. Another practical strategy is environmental support. Place your alarm clock across the room. Let natural light filter into your space in the morning. Pre-plan your outfit or your first activity. Remove obstacles to action and reduce friction. When the path to rising is smooth and intentional, adherence becomes easier. Every small adjustment compounds with consistent action to reinforce the habit. Stoicism also reminds us to embrace imperfection. There will be mornings when you stumble. Perhaps the alarm is ignored, sleep was restless, or life demanded a late night. In these moments, do not berate yourself. Instead, acknowledge the misstep, reflect on it, and return to the path the next day. The power of consistency is not perfection, it's persistence. The river carves its canyon not because it never wavers, but because it flows regardless of obstacles. Finally, view each morning as a microcosm of life itself. Consistent effort, even in small matters, translates to long-term success, composure, and fulfillment. Each day you rise intentionally, you reinforce your sovereignty over your time and your mind. This is not trivial. It is foundational. The Stoics believed virtue is cultivated through repeated action. Rising consistently is one of the simplest yet most profound opportunities to practice virtue. It strengthens your mind, sharpens your focus, and primes your day with momentum. In essence, your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. Through consistent wake-ups, you declare control over your life. You honor your goals, your values, and your future self. The discomfort of early rising is small compared to the lasting impact on your mind, habits, and character. Stone by stone, morning by morning, you build a life of intention, a life guided by virtue, resilience, and unwavering focus. You become the architect of your destiny, starting with the very first hour of each day. Section 5, Self-compassion. Strength through understanding, discipline, consistency, and purpose are essential. But the Stoics also understood the human element, the moments when we falter, when life throws us off balance, or when motivation deserts us. Marcus Aurelius, despite being emperor, reminded himself that he was human, fallible, and subject to the same struggles as anyone else. Self-compassion is not weakness. It is the recognition that growth is a process, not an instant transformation. Think of self-compassion as the safety net under a tightrope. You are walking the line of discipline, of intentional living, of sculpting your days with care and purpose. Some days missteps are inevitable. Perhaps you oversleep despite your best preparations, get lost in distractions, or feel unmotivated despite clear intentions. Stoicism teaches that acknowledging these missteps without judgment is not surrender. It is strategy. It preserves your momentum and allows you to return to your purpose without unnecessary psychological weight. When you pair self-compassion with the habits we've discussed, finding your ikigai, preparing the night before, avoiding distractions, and rising consistently, and the benefits compound. Each practice reinforces the other. For instance, recognizing the value of your purpose makes it easier to forgive a missed early wake-up. Preparation the night before reduces stress and frees your mind to focus on solutions rather than self-criticism. Avoiding morning distractions allows space to breathe, reflect, and reset when things go wrong. Together, these habits form a resilient ecosystem where discipline and self-compassion coexist, creating a life that is both productive and humane. Let's explore a metaphor. Imagine a gardener tending a delicate plant. You cannot force it to grow faster, nor punish it for leaning toward the sun. The gardener nurtures, waters, and adjusts the environment to give it the best chance to flourish. Similarly, self-compassion allows you to nurture your own growth. It is the recognition that discipline is most effective when paired with understanding, patience, and respect for your own limitations. Each morning, as you rise intentionally, you water the seeds of your character. Each night, as you reflect with gratitude, you provide the sunlight of perspective and appreciation. The benefits are tangible and transformative. By treating yourself with compassion, you reduce anxiety and mental fatigue, allowing clarity and focus to emerge. You maintain resilience in the face of setbacks, avoiding the spiral of guilt that can sabotage long-term habits. Your creativity and problem-solving improve, because a calm and forgiving mind has more bandwidth to engage deeply with challenges. Relationships also benefit, as self-compassion encourages empathy and patience toward others. Self-compassion does not mean lowering standards or avoiding accountability. On the contrary, it enhances your ability to pursue growth sustainably. It allows you to face the discomfort of waking early, the patience required to cultivate purpose, and the courage to resist distractions without succumbing to frustration. The Stoics framed this as the alignment of effort with wisdom. Know what is within your control, act with intention, and forgive yourself when outcomes falter. Moreover, when you embrace self-compassion, you unlock the full power of the practices already in place. The ikigai that fuels your mornings becomes a source of excitement rather than pressure. Evening preparation becomes a tool for rest and reflection rather than a chore. Avoiding distractions transforms from a rigid rule into a protective measure for your mental energy, and the consistency of your wake-up time becomes a celebration of your growth, not a test of your perfection. Consider this: a person who rises early, aligned with purpose, prepared and free of digital chaos, but beats themselves up for minor lapses, loses momentum over time. But the individual who pairs the same habits with understanding and patience, who treats themselves like the gardener tending their own potential, experiences compounded benefits. Their mornings become a sanctuary of clarity and intention, their days flow with focus, and their life unfolds with resilience, creativity, and contentment. Section 6. Small acts of discipline. Morning habits that compound discipline in the Stoic sense isn't about extremes or rigid self-denial. It's about small intentional acts that, over time, create a life of structure, clarity, and resilience. When applied to mornings, these micro-habits have a surprisingly powerful effect. Each choice you make in the first hour of the day, how you rise, how you move, how you orient your mind, compounds into greater focus, energy, and well-being across the rest of your day. Consider the act of placing your alarm clock across the room. At first glance, it's trivial, a minor inconvenience to force you out of bed, but it's also symbolic, a commitment to wake intentionally, to rise despite comfort, to claim control over your day. That one choice reinforces your ability to take charge of larger challenges. Similarly, making your bed may feel mundane, but it establishes a principle. Order in your environment fosters order in your mind. When you move through your morning with purpose, your environment becomes an ally, not a background noise of chaos. Small acts of discipline are also bridges to gratitude. As you complete each task, a moment of meditation, a mindful sip of coffee, a journaling entry reflecting on purpose, you signal to yourself that your time is valuable. You're training your mind to notice and appreciate what matters. Each micro-habit is a thread weaving consistency, intention, and calm into the fabric of your life. This combination not only strengthens willpower, but nurtures an inner sense of accomplishment that sets a positive tone for the entire day. Let's look at another example, morning movement. It doesn't have to be hours in the gym or a grueling routine. Even a few minutes of stretching, mindful breathing, or a walk outside can recalibrate your body and mind. Stoics understood that caring for the body is part of caring for the self. A morning stretch primes you for focus, increases energy, and enhances mental clarity. The benefit compounds because when the body feels alert and grounded, the mind follows suit. You start the day with a sense of agency, the feeling that you are prepared, capable, and ready to respond to whatever arises. Discipline is also reinforced by rituals that honor reflection and gratitude. Perhaps you begin the day by noting 3 things you're grateful for: a warm bed, a healthy body, a purpose-driven project, before checking your phone or responding to messages. These small gestures remind you that the day is a gift, a clean slate for growth, productivity, and kindness. Gratitude primes your mind for perspective. Even when challenges arise, you maintain a calm, stoic viewpoint, recognizing what you can control and what you cannot. Over time, this practice trains your brain to anchor in appreciation rather than frustration. The magic of these small acts is in their compounding effect. A single morning spent intentionally, rising on time, engaging in gratitude, moving your body, avoiding digital distractions, aligning with purpose, may seem minor, but repeat it daily, and your mornings become sanctuaries of clarity, focus, and resilience. Your mind becomes sharper, your emotions steadier, and your ability to respond to life's uncertainties grows exponentially. You don't just build habits, you cultivate character. Each micro-habit signals a commitment to yourself, that your time, energy, and mind are worthy of respect and care. Furthermore, small acts of discipline encourage mindfulness and presence. When you intentionally make your bed, stretch, meditate, or sip coffee with awareness, you shift from autopilot to conscious living. Your mornings are no longer reactive, immediately consumed by notifications and external demands, but proactive, guided by intention and clarity. The benefits ripple through the day: reduced stress, enhanced productivity, deeper appreciation for relationships, and a stronger alignment with your purpose. Another key point is that small disciplines teach resilience in the face of unpredictability. Life will throw challenges your way. The alarm may fail, distractions will appear, the weather may disrupt plans. If you have cultivated a sequence of small, intentional actions, you create a stable foundation. Even when circumstances are imperfect, you can fall back on these core habits to regain focus and control. This is Stoicism in practice, acting virtuously and deliberately in what is within your power, while letting go of what isn't. Section 7. Quick reminders and wrap up. As we wrap up this morning journey, let's take a moment to reflect on the habits and practices we've explored. Everything from preparing the night before, avoiding distractions, waking consistently, practicing small acts of discipline, embracing self-compassion, to ending with gratitude. These aren't just steps to a better morning. They are tools to reclaim your focus, energy, and peace, creating a ripple effect that lasts through your entire day. Remember, your mornings set the tone. By starting intentionally, moving your body, reflecting on what you're grateful for, and mentally preparing for the challenges ahead, you create a foundation of resilience and clarity. These simple acts, making your bed, journaling, meditating, or enjoying quiet moments with your thoughts, build a stronger mind, sharpen your focus, and enhance your emotional stability. Over time, they compound into lasting benefits: increased productivity, steadier moods, and a greater sense of calm in the chaos of modern life. Keep these reminders in mind. Focus on what you can control. Release what you cannot. Be fully present in each moment and cultivate gratitude. Even if mornings feel difficult or you falter in your routine, remember that Stoicism is not about perfection. It's about consistency, self-awareness, and patience. Each new morning is a chance to start again, to strengthen your discipline and to nurture your well-being. By committing to these small, intentional practices, you're training your mind to respond to life's challenges with poise, to approach each task with clarity, and to appreciate the simple joys around you. Your mornings become a launch pad for focus, energy, and purpose, helping you navigate the day with confidence and resilience. Thank you for dedicating your attention to this journey. If you apply even a few of these principles consistently, you'll notice a shift, a calmer mind, steadier emotions, and a renewed appreciation for life. Your mornings are yours to shape. Your days are yours to live intentionally. Embrace each one with purpose, cultivate gratitude, and let every morning be a reflection of the focus and strength you bring to life. Here's to mornings filled with clarity, days lived with intention, and a life enriched by gratitude and resilience. Thank you for being part of this journey. If you found value in these morning practices and Stoic insights, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more strategies to start your day with focus, gratitude, and purpose. Share your thoughts or your own morning rituals in the comments below. Let's build a community of intentional living together. Remember, every morning is a fresh opportunity to strengthen your mind, nurture your well-being, and live with intention. Start tomorrow stronger than today. Thank you for watching. Stay stoic.